So, Luca, tell us a little bit about Accu-Labs. I know you're all located in Chicago. So tell us all that you all do there for the finishing industry.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Well, first, thank you for having me today. It's
Hmm.
a pleasure and an honor to be here at TechTalk. I know you had a lot of industry veterans and
Hmm.
personalities, and thanks for putting out a lot of great content
Hmm.
for the industry. It's been great for me to learn about the industry and stay current on the recent trends.
Hmm.
Besides that, getting to Accu-Labs, so who we are is we are a service first manufacturer of specialty chemicals for anything surface finishing. So the way the company came about 25 years ago is the founder really believed that service was key for customers, and so we built a company around that. We knew that there's many people maybe going out of the industry and not as many coming in the industry. So deep expertise on surface finishing is increasingly hard to find. And so what we did is build a team of experts that include both chemical engineers as well as former practitioners who've run plating lines, and so deeply understand the art and the science behind the trade and can relate to
Hmm.
customers and the challenges they face. And then we had these experts build a line of products, and so understanding the challenges that they were facing, really try to address those with the chemistries that we built. And so we've have a collection of proprietary chemistries that span from cleaners down to wastewater treatment, getting through a lot of the technologies in between. And in addition to our chemistries, though, again, we believe that just chemistries can only go so far. So we offer a suite of services. So we have an A2LA certified lab that helps with plating bath testing as well as salt spray and wastewater testing. And then we can kind of plug in where customer need us, whether they they never plated before and they need somebody to help them through entire process, or they just need our chemistry, so we can help them with things like product design or process design and
Hmm.
engineering, and environmental permitting and compliance, equipment sourcing and startup, operations and maintenance, audit and consulting, training, and wastewater treatment consulting. So, a little bit of a gambit of anything they need. So sometimes I joke with our team that they can go and run the customer lines if they need to, which we don't tend to want to do, but we can go up to that far if it's needed. So we really try to be a resource and a partner with the customers to work with.
Right, right. Yeah, like I said, you all have been around for many years. Like I said, over 2 decades, right? Is that accurate with that? Yeah.
Yeah, the company's
Uh,
been around since 2001, so we have a good amount of history behind us.
right. Yeah. You mentioned something there, service. I know that's a lot of things I hear from people who own facilities and shops in the industries that, yeah, they need chemistry, they need, but they really need service sometimes to help. I know you all have a lab there that really works hand in hand with your customers to, not only just give them the best chemistry, get them exactly what they need, right? But also help them, like you said, help them troubleshoot, solve issues so they can keep those lines running.
Yeah, because I think I obviously come from a different background, and we'll go over that probably later.
Hmm.
But what is fascinating and interesting about the industry is that, at least, and I'm a mechanical engineer, is one of the most complex systems that you can running a plating lines, right? Like if you look at it as in you got some inputs, and then you have the system and then the outputs. You have like hundreds or thousands of inputs in a system like that, right? Where you have what chemistries you're
Hmm.
using, what parts you're using, what is your temperature, like how well your equipment is maintained. And everything compounds over the, 6, 12, 18 tanks you might have for each line. So it is incredibly challenging to run the operation as a metal finisher. And so you do need oftentimes, even with, well-proven process and a capable team, from somebody who have seen those challenges with those chemistries. So we do see that as a key team across many of our
Hmm.
customers, both the smaller shops up to the larger captive players we work with.
Right. Right. You like this company so much that you purchased it a while back. Tell us what attracted you to this company. What was some of the big pluses that you saw that Accu-Labs could do and grow?
Yeah, so a great question. Maybe a little bit of background on myself
Hmm.
first. I have a mechanical engineering background, and then I spent the bulk of my career in manufacturing and industrials. And so I had a bit of a thing for making physical things from the very beginning. My first
Hmm.
experience was, implementing lean manufacturing in a pharmaceutical plant. And then I spent more than a decade helping manufacturing companies and Fortune 500s really grow and improve their operations. And then I also spent a few years in startups, basically selling and servicing manufacturing customers, and grew companies multiple folds there. But then really wanted to buy and own a business more on the small side. I got a bit of an entrepreneurial itch since I moved to the US, and so I knew bottom line that I wanted to run a manufacturing company. And I had some familiarity with metal finishing by being more of a user, like obviously mechanical engineer, and I was
Hmm.
familiar with custom manufacturing, so CNC and the various finishing you would apply with the parts like that. But as soon as I saw Accu-Labs was love at first sight. I mean, I had seen at that point a lot of other companies, so reviewed thousands of opportunities. I spoke with more than 40 business owners, and as soon as I met the previous owner Stephen Noel and our technical director Pete Tremmel, really understood that I was onto something special. And there were a few
Hmm.
reasons for that. One is, obviously the company had a great team with a lot of deep experts in the space that are hard to find and have a bit of a unique background of both chemical engineers and people who've done
Hmm.
plating for their career, as well as then develop formulations. We had a very wide range of products. Sometimes for somebody from the outside, it's almost intimidating how many how many products we have. Even if we compare it to some of our larger competitors, maybe they've been trimming product lines a bit. uh, we have a very wide range, and because we don't generally take products off the market, we always service what we have. It's always tough for customers to have to deal with products that goes out of market and find an alternative. So we try to stay constant with what we offer. And then the customers tend to love the company, which is a great feat. And so out of the 20 almost 25 years we've been in business, we haven't lost a customer that we serve at scale. So that's quite a feat. And so I think a lot of these things went into really trying to make the transaction work. And yeah, so it's been obviously it was a bit of a process to then transact. Like I pulled together a group of investors that then also add both knowledge on chemical manufacturing. So I have a board member who's a chief commercial officer at a public chemical company. I have experts on manufacturing and generally scaling small business, so that we're fully equipped to really grow the company for the years to come.
Right. Right. Yeah. And you mentioned, you have a lot of products from, like I said, pre-treatment all the way to waste treatment, right?
Mhm.
And so you can really, one of your customers doesn't need to step out to find somebody else to do a lot of those things for them. That you all have those available. A lot of them you all invented. I mean, you came up with yourselves and worked really well. But I guess part of it is you all are really. It seems like the success you've had is really becoming an extension of your customers because a lot of them have workforce development issues. They're bringing on new people, but you guys seem to be the constant for them, right? You're there to help them. Like I said, not only utilize the chemistry, make sure they utilize it correctly with that, and that seems to be a big thing that's missing sometimes is that great customer service that these shops really truly need sometimes with that, right?
Yeah, I think the model that we've seen working the best is really becoming the primary, and I wouldn't say sole, but really the primary chemical supplier when we
Hmm.
can deploy the full range of our resources to bear for them. And so I think that's where a lot of top customers get most of their proprietary chemistries from us. because I think that way they get even a higher degree of service and will really become a part of their team. So anytime they have tough project from a customer that they don't know if they can do, they'll come to us, and then we'll be able to put in resources to develop custom formulations or figure out how we can work with our existing formulation, fine tuning some parameters to make them get there. So I think like the service model combined with obviously having an extended relationship with customers really worked well for us.
Right, right. And like I said, your background being an engineer, you've probably been on the customer side of things, right? Of manufacturing something and you need to get it finished done. So you've kind of been on that side of it as well. They're your customers' viewpoint as well, right? Of just you want to get the product out to market as quickly as you can, and you want the right chemistry to get things done. So I guess you come to this position with a little bit of experience of being in their shoes, I think, right?
Yeah, there's some experience in there for sure. What I've seen as an engineer and working for one of the startup I was at before, and some of the large manufacturing companies that I've served. What I'm seeing is where the especially like domestic manufacturing is going is you're working on very highly engineered applications, right? A lot of the more commodity work is moved to
Mm-hmm.
the overseas and might be there to stay. And we are also losing some knowledge and talent on the mechanical engineer side too. So some of the newer generation of mechanical engineering might not be as familiar with the technologies, and so sometimes like things tend to be maybe a little over spec, or we're trying to get something on paper that's not exactly manufacturable either mechanically or otherwise. And so I think there is an increasing set of challenges that are both seen because the requirements get tougher as you have a higher performance needed for the highly engineered devices, and then also they're harder to translate into something that can be manufactured, and that sort of thing, everything that then the metal finisher need to face of trying to meet those higher requirements and more challenging specs down the road. So yeah, I can relate to a lot of the challenges our customer face by seeing what happens upstream before.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys got a lot of products that are there to help finishers. What are you seeing? What's some of your better selling products? What are they asking you all to help them with most that you've seen of late with that? If there's anything in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so traditionally there are three areas that the company is best known for, and then there's a
Mm-hmm.
few other areas that we're finding increasing success as of recent. So the first area would be electroless nickel. We have some
Mm-hmm.
patented formulations for both like mid FOS and high FOS that are among the best in the industry. They operate at high speed, so something like 800 to 1,000 microinches per hour. And
Mm-hmm.
when we did analyze the performance of our baths compared to competitors, what we found is the deposit is brighter. It offers higher surface leveling and smoothness, and also has better corrosion resistance at comparable plating thicknesses. And at the same time, it's a very forgiving bath, so it's a low stress deposit and it's very stable. So it minimizes plate out and pump outs, as well as then reduces the fear of edge pullback. So that's one of the our main really offering is really electroless nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is going to be a suite of zinc and passivates chemistries. And along those lines, I think what makes us stand out is both the corrosion resistance, as well as against the tolerance to a wide range of operating conditions. So a few examples of that is some of our zinc chemistries don't have a cloud point, so they're able to operate at higher temperature and speeds compared to the competition. And another interesting example is a combination of a passivate and an integrated sealer that delivers more than 1,000 hours in salt spray over, acid chloride zinc, which is a really interesting alternative to zinc nickel. That it's typically expensive and also oftentimes hard to operate too. And then lastly, there's a couple of other interesting passivates that we offer among all the others. There is a RoHS compliant non-chrome passivate that also offers really good corrosion resistance. And then there is a yellow non-dye passivate that is also obviously UV stable and also has excellent salt spray performance. So that's the second area. The third area would be our tin and precious metal chemistries are another area of excellence for us. An example would be a tin brightener is again, very good product from an operating performance standpoint. Can operate at a wide range of temperature and current density, and also can be used from anything from wire plating of tiny connectors to rack plating and reel-to-reel applications. It's also very easy to use, single component product, and then we engineered it such that cannot be over added. So we had some customers having trouble over adding and having trouble with the bath, and like this they don't have to worry about how much to add. So those are the areas that traditionally the company has been most successful and best known for. However,
Gotcha.
there are three more areas that we're finding increasing success in. The first one being metal and paint strippers, where we've seen customers wanting to innovate, especially in relations to managing health and safety and environmental risk associated with hazardous substances like cyanide and methylene chloride. And to that end, there's an application we found recently where our new generation paint stripper perform very well against a comparable methylene chloride one in terms of stripping speed, even when dealing with some complex coatings, polymer coatings to strip. And another application was instead on the metal stripping side, where one of our metal stripper was up against some cyanide-based ones and generally deliver better stripping speed as well as metal content tolerance. So basically delivering faster cycle times and bath life. So we're seeing more and more customers trying to evolve, stripping, especially, trying to eliminate those substances. And the last two areas, one is like wastewater treatment, is we see like a big challenge for a lot of customers.
Right.
In part because municipalities are introducing new controls like pollutants and reducing the thresholds on some others, and so it's always an evolving goalpost, and it's tough talent to find. So it's high turnover, it's hard to find the right person. So, and it's difficult to run a successful program without relying on a good team that is there to stay. And so within that, an example was one of our customers came to us. They had almost daily violations, unfortunately, when we started. And how we help them is diagnosing their process and auditing their equipment, and then we were able to be an extension of their team, and really kind of helped with our chemistries and our technical support to get them down to compliance. So they've been in compliance for over a year now, and so yeah, I mean it's been a great team where initially we were really kind of directing a lot of the work, and now they've become fully self-sufficient, where our team is only popping in every now and then, but they're kind of fully independent, being able to run that. So on wastewater, we really kind of combine the chemistries with a lot of the consulting and sometimes even equipment sourcing and installation side. The last but not least area is the anodizing, where again we have a bit of a full gambit of from cleaners up to anodizing seals, and one of the key products is our anodizing seal. That's a nickel acetate seal, and an example of success was we worked with a top brand for bathroom and kitchen products, and they were having challenges with bath life. They were only lasting 2 or 3 days or something like that, and we were able to get them to only really turn the tanks once every 6 months or so, and at the same time they were able to reduce labor costs because they had to deal with less smell. they also had better corrosion and abrasion resistance, and also the product ended up leaching less dye. So they had some efficiencies on that end too. And then maybe I'll close out with a couple of products on the aluminum side too.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a non-chrome passive film that also delivers good corrosion resistance. That again, we're trying to help customers reduce problematic substances like chrome where it's not needed. Obviously, can't really replace chrome everywhere, but if there are some applications where you can, then we're really pushing to try to find ways to reduce that or move from hex to tri and things like that. So those are again a few areas across our portfolio of products. Hopefully that helps in bringing lights to some our future.
That's a lot. that's a lot. Let me ask you real quick. Are you where are your customers based? Are they? I know you're based out of Chicago, but are you all doing coast to coast work with people, or where are you mostly servicing customers?
Yeah, so we serve coast to coast, and then we also have international customers in Asia and Latin America. I would say right now, based on how the company has operated a long time, I think probably that the bulk of our sales is really around where we're based out of. The company was operating well, and the former ownership was happy to with the size of the company, and but we do sell anywhere from from California down to the East Coast. But the goal for me would really be to make more people aware of the great products and the great team we have, and get a little bit more stretch, a little bit more outside of our core region here in Chicago, because I do think the product really deserve a broader audience.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it seems to me that all these facilities, wherever they're at, California, Florida, Boston, they're looking for great products and great service. So if that can be delivered to them, I think you might possibly win some people over with that. But Luke, I appreciate you joining us, and we'll keep in touch, and I'm sure we'll do this again. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, team. Real pleasure.